Hi. You know, some people watching this video might look at it and say, wow, this guy, he's really good at speaking, and I'm really not. I think it's easy when you're talking about something that you experience or that you believe. It's not hard to talk about a path that you've walked. I feel for those that would study a book and try to give their interpretation of it, or take somebody's idea and try to prove it themselves. I don't know how they would do that. I couldn't do that. You know, all I can tell you is where I've been, where I've gone, things I've seen, what I believe. I can't even tell you that a lot of things I know for fact, because I don't. This is just what I believe. I had some experiences. You know, if I hesitate to go into too much detail about some of these personal experiences because I don't want to put people off that otherwise might listen to what I'm saying, but there's a part of me that wants to testify about these experiences with God. I have had some God moments. One of my biggest experiences was like, I really can't be accurate. I call it my 3 minutes with God because it seemed like that's about how long it was about 3 minutes, but it could have been 30 seconds, it could have been 5 minutes. But I know it wasn't long. It was a very short duration, and wow, did I get a lot of visions in there. I have enough material to talk about for a long time. You know, some people would watch and say, well, you know, he's titled this Assurance of Salvation, but I haven't heard any assurances of salvation. You know, I haven't heard any of God's words to assure us of salvation, and that's because we're on part 6. You know, I hope you're still here at part 96. Because what a revelation it's going to be by the time we get there. You know, I'm starting on step 1 and walking my path. That's what you're getting to hear. I mean, I don't know exactly what I'm going to say when I turn the camera on, but I do know point A and point B, and I know exactly where I am at this point after the detox, and what after, and going to the meetings and hooking on to the people. I would hope at this point there's some prayer going on. You know, there's some prayer going on. And I know that's not easy because, you know, how do you go from not believing to believing? How do you go from not having faith to having faith? And you'll find that a lot of this cure, this treatment, has to do with accepting things and believing things. And I think the step of the journey that we're on now is, how do you go from no to yes? And I would put the question to you like this. I think you should explore, what is it that you do believe? And I believe that probably your experiences, or a lot of your experiences, are a lot like mine. That you've never seen God. You've never heard God. You've seen things that you like to call coincidences. You've seen flukes, things that can be explained away if you choose to explain them away. And then there are things that, you know, if God wants to reveal himself to you, he will do it in such a way that you cannot deny that it's him. You can't deny that he did it. No one else could have done it. No one else could have known it. No one else could have touched you in that personal a way. And for those that it's happened to, they know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know and you don't believe, you know, ask yourself, what do you believe? You know, what do you believe? And I think it's a combination of many beliefs. It's, I don't know if there's a God. I've always known there's a God, but I'm not sure. I know there's a God, but he's not in my life. You know, he's not here at the moment. He kind of dropped us off, and he's not speaking to us right now, and he's off somewhere else. And, you know, that's, in my experience, that's not true. He's here. He's in this room right now. He's in the room with you. He's watching you, watching this, and he knows everything you're thinking. And so, well, how could there be something, you know, that could listen to everybody at all times? How could there be an omnipresent, omnipotent, always present everywhere all the time? And I would put it to you, have you ever seen a picture of the universe? Have you ever watched the Universe show where they go out and they take these pictures further and further and further away, and they show the galaxies, and they go further than that, and they keep expanding out, and they talk about all these different energy waves that travel all these billions and trillions of miles. You've got the X-rays and gamma rays and all these powerful energies that basically the universe is just like throbbing. It's like throbbing with power and energy and immutable laws and physics and mathematics, and there's all this, what I call perfection. It's like perfection. It's like this huge, unimaginable, immense, endless thing. And it's like living. It's like live. And for you to think that that we or any other kind of small species would be the only intelligence out there, I think that's pretty small-minded. I mean, you know, we could go to a lot of different theories, but I would put this to you. How do you know that the universe itself is not conscious of itself? I mean, it sure is composed of a lot more stuff than we are. I mean, we're just a bag of water and stuff, and we're conscious. So how do you know? I mean, you might start there with a concept of God. You might think that God is underneath everything. You know, He's in every molecule. You know, in essence, is everything. And you know, it doesn't really matter where you start as long as you're willing to believe there's something. And if you're one of those that's sitting there unwilling to believe in anything, then I would ask you why. There is something holding you back from wanting to believe in anything. And it's usually anger, you know, it's usually denial. There's usually some motive present. And I would ask you to question that motive of what would be holding you back. And I would put it to you that what's holding you back is that if you believe, if you come to believe in any concept like this, then there's things you're going to have to give up. And you don't want to give those things up. So you choose not to believe and to keep on this path that pleases you, basically. You know, if it didn't please you, you'd give it up.